Hey, what's going on guys? Derrik here, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do a request that I've had from a few of you. It's the song Flower Shops by Ernest featuring Morgan Wallen. And today I'm gonna watch the video, the acoustic video, and try and teach you guys how to play it like they do in this video. I'm a fan of Ernest. Obviously, you guys know I'm a fan of Morgan Wallen too and his music. And I have heard this song, but I have not seen the acoustic video for it yet. So without further ado, let's jump into this and try and figure out how they play it like this on a guitar.
Not all there's tears in her blues, bloodshot in mine. So mister, I'll take your roses. What a good day for flower shops.
Okay. So let's break down that verse first. There's a few things that I'm noticing so far. The first one is that if you want to play this guitar like they do in this video, you'll want your guitar in standard tuning. The song is in the key of G major, and so far Ernest has played this picking pattern in his right hand, and there's been a few chords that he's played as well. The first one he played was like this G. So this is just like you typically how I play G major and how a lot of people play G major is like this. But you'll see a lot of guys that maybe have like a bluegrass background or just play a lot of country-ish stuff. They'll play a G like this. So it's a little different finger configuration. But the reason they do that is mostly so that you can hammer on to the 4th and the 2nd string on the 2nd and 1st frets. Just a really common hammer-on for this G chord. But that's really like the first chord that he played. Then he went to an A minor 7, which is really just like an A minor. So this is your normal A minor here, but just take off your ring finger for the A minor 7. Then he played a D major, and those were the 3 chords for the verse. And if we rewind it here, let me try and figure out the picking pattern that he is doing here.
Beautiful. Blues, bloodshot in mine. This bet all she can take.
Okay, so it's really interesting because and I know I harp on this a lot in my videos, but there's really not like a specific pattern that Ernest is doing here. A lot of it is just freelancing in a way, just based on feel. And I know that's not the easiest thing to teach, but as you become more skilled in guitar, the more you can just play things by feel and listen to a song and get the general idea of what they're playing, but you don't need to like get it down perfectly. Like I would almost bet that if you recorded Ernest playing this twice, that there would be these small nuances between both recordings where he played it slightly differently. And that's just because it's a feel thing. But if you want to get as close as possible to that, what I think he's doing is he's starting on this G major. So it's kind of something like in the right hand, what I'm doing is I'm picking the 6th, the 4th, and the 3rd to start, and then I go 6, 4, and 3, 6, and then you're gonna do 2 and 3 instead of 3 and 4. And that's where you hammer on with your left hand to the 4th string on the 2nd fret and the 2nd string on the 1st fret. So real slow so far, it's and then you're gonna pull off on these two strings. And you almost repeat that again, but then the only thing you add is this high E string. And one thing to note too is when you go and move these 2 fingers down 1 fret or 1 string, there is this quick hit on the 4th string open. So you go 6, 4, and 3 together, then just 6, and then you're gonna move these 2 fingers down 1 string, and then hit 6 again. And then you're gonna play the 4th string open, so it's, and then you pick the 2nd and 3rd string again, but this time you're gonna hammer onto them. So I'm picking the 6th, the 2nd, and the 3rd, and I'm hammering on to the 4th string and the 2nd string in my left hand. And then you pull off of that too, so when you go 6, those two together, all of them together in your right hand, and then you pull off. So it's something like that. The one thing to note here too is that sometimes Ernest is mixing in just some light strumming with his thumb. So it's a little bit of hybrid picking and that picking pattern. And he kind of does the same thing on the A minor. So you go 5, 2, and 3 together, 5, 2, and 3, and then back to 5. So it's, and then same thing on the D. So I'm going 5, 2, and 3 together, just 5, just 2 and 3, just 5, and then together again. And again, sometimes he mixes in that, just like some strums in there too. So all together, it'll sound something like this. And then on the A minor, and then D. And then you go into the chorus here. So one thing to note too is like the hammer-ons, those only happen in the intro. I don't think he doesn't do them in the actual verse. So what you could do is just do kind of that picking pattern that I mentioned on the A minor and the D, where it's 6, 2 and 3 together, just 6, just 2 and 3, just 6, and then all together again. So and then same thing on the A minor. And then same thing on the D. Let's keep going. I'll call out the chords here. G, A minor. So see the strums there? So he's kind of doing like a hybrid of both. So it's like, kind of something like that. It's hard to teach, but it really is just a feel thing. So it's kind of just mixing in that picking pattern that we went over, but also just single down strums with your thumb.
Bender's been bending,
D.
it's hellbound to break. My baby's had all she can take.
Then I think he strums it there. And now you're into the chorus.
So mister, I'll take your own
A minor, D,
if you cut off the thorns,
G,
you can't
walk
take
down to
no
E minor.
more. I'll buy violets
Repeat it, A minor,
daisies to hide all
D,
crazy. It's
G,
gonna take
walk
all
down,
you've
E
got.
minor,
Oh, it's bad.
A minor
Day for
7,
love, a good day
D.
for flower shops.
and then same type of thing on that G, coming out of the chorus and now going into the second verse. So the chorus is very similar in a lot of ways. You have the A minor chord that starts it, then you go to the D, then you go to a normal G major, so just like this. You walk down to a D over F sharp, and then to an E minor, and then you repeat the whole thing. A minor, D, G, walk down, E minor. It's a and then back to the G. They also did more strumming there versus picking. So
it's a bad day for love, a good day for flash.
So again, I'm not one to memorize like picking patterns or strumming patterns, but if you wanted to boil down the general rhythm that they're playing here, what I would probably do is a strumming pattern that sounds something like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down for the chorus. So you would go A minor, D, G, walk down, E minor, then repeat it. E minor. It's a bad day for love, a good day for pleasure. So that's probably the strumming pattern that I would do. That was not perfect because I'm using my thumb. I think Ernest is here too. I'm not sure if he ever plays with a pick. It kind of seems like he does more finger style and hybrid hand strumming type of playing, which is fine, but it's not common, so it's kind of hard to teach too. But that's the strumming pattern that I would use for the chorus. So let's keep going here and see how they play the second verse.
Well, I took some pills.
G, strumming it too.
The dogs, oh, it's all gone.
A minor.
Well, she's gone to her mom's. And I took up drinking since
D.
she took the time.
Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
Best years of her life.
Oh, what's interesting too here is so you can see that Ernest is playing a D major chord like this here. Morgan's actually playing this one up here, so it's basically like your C major, slide it up 2 frets, and this is a D. I think it's a D. This isn't a D7 because this is kind of sounds like it, but I don't think it is. Very similar though. I think it's a D2. Anyways, this is a modified D chord, and that's what Morgan is playing. So you could play your typical D major chord, or you can play this up here as well. Either will sound like they're playing it here. But also note that in this verse, instead of the picking / hybrid strumming that Ernest did, Morgan is just strumming kind of like that pattern. It's the down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So of course, A minor, D,
If you cut off the
G, walk down, E minor, repeat it.
Violets and daisies to have all you got.
Good harmony.
It's a tough day for love, but a good day for flower shots.
Oh, Ernest was solo. Okay, I don't usually break down these solos, but let me
Day for love, but a good day for flower shots. Roses are red.
Okay, so if you want to play it like him, he's playing somewhat within the pentatonic scale. I'm not a master of soloing by any means, so I'm not trying to fool anybody. But what I think he did was he slid up from the 5th fret to the 7th. Same thing on the, that was on the 6th string. Then on the 5th string, same thing. And then he hammers on from the 5th fret to the 7th fret on the 4th string. And then I think he slid up to the 9th, slid from the 7th back down to the 5th, hammered on again from the 5th to the 7th fret, and then he did like these really cool intervals. So basically I'm on the 9th and the 7th fret of the 4th and 3rd string. Slide down 2 frets to the 5th and 7th, same strings. And then you're on the 5th and 4th fret on the same strings. So those first few are. And then he almost repeated that, but he went up back to this 5th and 7th one, back to this 4th and 5th one, and then he added this interval on the 4th and the 2nd fret. And then went back to the 4th and 5th. So real slow those intervals are. Something like that, and I believe that was most of that solo. I'm not gonna try and get perfect on that, but that's the general idea of kind of what he did there.
Violets are blue, I don't need, so mister, I take your own.
Now back in the chorus, so A minor.
If you cut off the thorns, you can't take no more. I'll buy violets and daisies again.
Notice how the strumming is picking up here, so the energy's picking up. Same chord progression as the chorus, but just more like aggressive strumming. Same pattern though.
Baby, it's gonna take all you've got. Oh, it's a bad day for love, but a good day for flower shops.
And then he ends on that G. Yeah, so he ends on that G. That's a great song. I mean, it really feels like classic country. Yeah, just when you hear that note there, just know that he's picking the high E string on the 3rd fret. And then again, that was that G that we went over in the beginning, where he hammers on and off of the 4th and the 2nd string on the 2nd and 1st fret. So to kind of quickly recap, in the intro and then coming out of some of the choruses, you have this G major chord that's suspended, where you hammer on and off of those strings and on the 1st and 2nd fret. Then you had an A minor 7, and you had a D major. And those were your chords for the verse. And then in the chorus, you started on the A minor 7, go to the D, go to a G, walk down to an E minor, and then you repeat that all over again. And I think one thing we mentioned is in the first verse, Ernest kind of does like this picking / hybrid single strumming type of pattern. In the chorus, they did that strumming pattern that's something like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So. So something like that for the choruses. And then in the second verse and the remaining chorus, you kind of continued that strumming pattern. They really only do that picking pattern in the first verse. So yeah, guys, I hope that was helpful. I know there's a lot of nuance there. There always is when there's somebody that plays guitar mostly based on feel and just experience. So I hope that will get you as close as possible to the way they sound here. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them, and also let me know what other songs you guys want me to teach on guitar like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.